Hello beautiful souls and welcome to my channel. My name is Sanja, by the way, and before I continue to the book, which I have right here, I want to tell you something excited, at least it is for me. Today is my official, I call it, article on the blog out, and I'm super excited. Katie asked me to write something for her blog, which is amazing, and I really love her and I adore her. And when she asked me, I'm like, okay, what do you want me to write about? She's like, whatever you want. And I'm like, yes. So I already had a topic in mind, and when she asked me to write about anything, I'm like, so I'll link everything. I'll link her blog, I'll link the video, the link for my article. She also has a YouTube channel, so I'll link that down below as well. She talks a lot about running and recipes. She's actually all about food and exercises. So if you're about food or exercises or both, you can definitely visit her channel. But she's about life anyway, in general, just like I am, just in different ways. And again, I am so excited. So I don't know. I was so excited writing it, and I can't believe it's finally out. Everyone has been asking me, when is it gonna be out? And I've been waiting to tell them it's today. So it's today. It's my first one, and there you go. You can check it down below in the description box. Yes. Okay. And now to the book. So I'm super excited. Can you tell that I'm super excited? Okay. So enough about the article. Although you'll be seeing this a lot because of that. I named this video Your Book of the Month, and I'll let you know why is it your book of the month and why maybe not necessarily my book of the month. I enjoy the book. I read it, I think, pretty quickly. I don't know. If you never read anything about how brain works, if you don't know any tips on how to read faster, if you've never read anything about learning maybe a bit quicker, basically this book is 101, so for beginners, about your brain and how to make it limitless, how to improve your speed reading techniques, how to improve your memories. Jim Quick has really put even acronyms of certain things so you can remember it better. He put things about how many different types of smart there is, because I don't think nowadays maybe a lot of people think there's maybe one type of being smart, which is basically what school does anyway, and every other person maybe that is learning in a different way can be considered something less than that, because they're not maybe learning in a specific way, but they are smart just in another way. I love this book. Again, this is book for the beginners. Why I was slightly expecting was a bit more, because tips that you can use even straight away, it's pretty much at the end of the book. It's not a lot, and I already knew this stuff. So because I already explored that ages ago, 10 years ago, for instance, he tells you to take a pen and to underline while you're reading it, because your eye can wander, and as opposed to you maybe reading a word and then go backwards and reading it again because of maybe pen or your finger or even, I don't know, chopsticks, you can use whatever, then you're following that, so it's a bit easier. But again, I've been doing that for 10 years now, because I've read the speed reading book from Tony Buzan, not sure, Tony Buzan. So I did buy that book in Serbian, and I also 10 years ago bought the memory book as well. And again, the first tip that is in this book is how to remember, I don't know, the list of 10 words, random words, in less than a minute. Well, I remembered it in 20 seconds, maybe 30, let's say. But again, it's because that's the first chapter of that book, again from Tony Buzan, both the speed reading book and the memory book, 10 years ago. Now, I've Googled him. His first book about speed reading, I think came out 1971. There were random years, so I think it's 1971, and about memory 1986, if that's the earliest year that I saw. It could be earlier, but those books exist ages ago. Now also he has a new edition. I think the speed reading book, the newest, is 2009. That's the book that I got 10 years ago. So, you know, in that way, I was a bit disappointed. Not that I didn't learn anything, of course I didn't. But again, I'm now gonna tell you how to read this book. If you're interested in, like, I don't know, brain for beginners, about what food is good for your brain, everything. I would suggest not to Google Jim Quick, not to go on YouTube channel, because he does have amazing videos, amazing interviews. I would suggest not to do it before you read this book. Why? I found out about him maybe a month before he published his book. Not sure, but let's say a month. And I was so impressed. You have no idea. I mean, the people that he has met, that his story, how he overcame his certain things that he had in life. I'm being vague on purpose here, just so you know. So everything, I was impressed by the story. However, that story you hear in other 20 interviews, which I understand, because if you go on someone else's channel and they've never heard of you, you need that intro. But when you hear it 20 times and then you read it again in this book detailed, and you already know everything about it. And not just that, a lot of even acronyms, a lot of tips that he gives, that he, again, let's say, invented all the acronyms and stuff. I think he did. He mentions it in his videos as well. So half of the book I already knew just from his videos. Obviously, I've seen a lot of his videos and a lot of interviews with other people. So I wasn't as impressed as I would have been if I... Okay, my grammar is gonna... So if I read the book first before I discovered the videos and stuff, I would have been blown away. That's what this book does. He also put together a lot of sentences, a lot of quotes from other people. He put a lot of books together. He also put a list of books that you can read. Again, tells you his story, tells you so many things. But again, when you know and have seen it from him, like half of the book, I was like, no, not, I already know this. But again, I understand, because if you've never heard of him, seen him, if you know nothing about the brain, how it works, any tips on how to improve your brain, then again, I understand completely. Again, however, if you know these tips, I maybe did know 10% of what he wrote. That's it. 90% I already have. Every tip that he put on how to improve speed reading techniques, how to improve your brain, memory as well, I already knew. About, let's say, I don't know, one of the things was like, stress is not good for memory. Well, duh. If you want to know all about that, then you can go to my previous video about breaking the habit of being yourself. That book is actually what inspired me to do Book of the Month. And this book, again, because so many of you, I believe, don't know anything about it. You've never heard about how to memorize a list in less than a minute of 10 things, let's say. You've never heard about maybe, because a lot of kids in school, when you start reading better, they tell you not to use your finger, although we all do when we're kids, and you maybe stop using the pen or your finger, or stuff like that. Although maybe those are the things that I already knew. But the brain food, there are a lot of recipes, not necessarily that you'll have all of these things. Some of these were like, I don't know what that is. I haven't seen it in my supermarket. But again, lots of tips. If you don't know anything, or if you know very little and you want to know, he's been you know, I think his courses are much better, and I think that's what all this book is leading towards to. I haven't done any of his courses, but I've seen the reviews of other people, and they are just thrilled. So I think maybe that's where you get all of his knowledge, because you can see he knows a lot of things, and he has decades of experience, and he's been, you know, teaching Hollywood stars, and from Oprah to, you know, so many different celebrities, Hollywood people, you name it, you know, Bill Gates, I think, even. So he knows his things, just not that he necessarily put everything in this book. But again, however, it's a really good book for someone who hasn't been that informed like I have been informed. So the best way, if you want to read this book, if you want to know how to make your brain limitless and to start towards that path, don't Google anything about this guy. You'll be impressed a lot just by reading everything. And there is such amazing things in this book that I can't even start telling you about. The reason why I haven't done, like in Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, a lot of things to read you about, is because I usually do that when I read the book twice, the second time around. I read this book once because that's all I need, basically. I have my notes that I always do. Another thing that he says, good thing for memory and how to do it, is taking notes. I do that again. So everything that I wanted to remember and wanted to know, I wrote in my notes. So if I want to remember them or I want to review them, I can just read that as opposed to reading the entire book. Where the Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, I can easily read that book another 10 times. I love it so much. But again, I'm putting it aside until I read maybe at least, I don't know, 10, 20 books more, and maybe I'll go back to that one again. But you know, that's pretty much it. So this book, don't get me wrong, it's amazing. But if you've read so many books about memory, about speed reading techniques, if you know all these 101 stuff, don't want to get your hopes maybe too high, because mine were so high. And around 200th page, I was like, when is it gonna start? Because I wanted to know more. And then when I finished it, I'm like, okay. Now, this book has inspired me about other things. As much as I do have the memory book and the speed reading book, and there are probably other people that have wrote books about it, but I know about this one, so I can only speak about the books that I already know and read and, you know, used. So although I had those books for 10 years, I haven't done everything from those books, mainly because 10 years ago I wasn't mentally in a place and kind of didn't really think about it much. And then when I saw this book, when I read it, and I'm like, wait a second, I have these books. I can improve my memory so much because those things aren't in this one. Again, I know things from this book, most of it. So, you know, I mean, tips, I know all of them, maybe some info, again, about all the types of being smart and stuff like that. That's sort of things that I did know. But in these two books, and I'll link those as well if you want to take them as well, because for me, they're amazing. I really am going to try and use everything from the book. Now, I won't talk about the book, I think, until I finish everything. And it maybe will take me months. I don't know. I have a lot of things that I'm doing. Just I'm interested in so many things that, you know, I can't focus on one thing and just do that for months. I have like 5-6 things that I do, and that's just what I love. So when I do finish that, I did start already with the memory book from Tony Buzan, and I'll try to do all of it. In that book, you have how to memorize 52 cards, you know, which one, you know, those, I don't know if you've seen the competitions when they have to memorize all these, I don't know, random words or numbers or cards, 52 cards, which one goes first, second, third, in, you know, as less of time as possible. So that's all, everything memory related is in that book. Tony Buzan also has a book about mapping, how to use maps to remember things better. So I would really highly recommend his books, although I haven't used everything from the books, which is not, you know, it's my responsibility anyway. But after this book, after Limitless, I was so inspired to do better on my brain, to use everything that I have, even currently, that I don't even need to order anything else. So that's it. I have so many things to link you that are, wow, amazing. So I'll link everything down below. So you can have everything, explore everything, read everything, know that you are limitless. One of the things that I do love about this book is the motivation to let you know that everyone has the ability to improve their memory, to improve their speed reading techniques, to be the best versions of themselves that you can possibly be, which is basically what my channel is all about. To be happier as well, because when you're more productive, you're more happier, you've done more things, you have more time for other things. That motivation as well, I love from this book. It's amazing, super duper amazing. So that's my opinion of this book, and this is your book of the month. However, I enjoyed it. For some reason, I expected more. Again, don't Google him, don't go on his YouTube videos, not just yet, maybe. I mean, again, if you want, you can, but I think you have everything right here that you need, and then afterwards you can explore other things as well. So yeah, and as well, if you want your bookshelves maybe to be a bit, if you have a theme or something, this is how it looks on the inside. So you have blank. I actually took this off while I was reading because it's much better. There you go. It's a bit, I think, the other way, but it doesn't matter. You see my point. So, wait. I did this the first time? Yeah, so it's like this. But I think it's the other way around. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You know I don't edit my videos, so you'll get what you get. It's pure, it's real, it's... yeah, for now anyway. The not editing part, I'll see for the rest later. So anyway, that's the book. Let me put this back. So that's the book, and I hope I helped you somehow. Again, I didn't want to spoil anything, didn't want to give any spoilers, that's how you say it. So I didn't read anything from it, but I don't think that I need to do that. I honestly think read it, do it, take notes. You can actually start, I don't know where that is. Start with the pen. I know that he mentions it later, and maybe that's one spoiler, but honestly, if you want to, because when he put the test on test yourself, you can go towards the end if you want to do that now. If you want to test yourself, if you're not using anything as a visual guide, do it before you can test yourself and then after, but start reading the book with a pen. That's how I read it. And then when he said test yourself, now the way you read it, and now start with a pen or your finger, I'm like, okay. So my average, although I'm not very good, again, I didn't use everything from other books that I have, is 467 words per minute, which again, someone will be, wow, that's amazing, I want to do more, but obviously when I saw the average, I was really impressed anyway. But that's with using a visual guide. I think he said that you can improve from 25 to 100% to be faster reader, to read faster. I'm still thinking about the blog. Anyway, so happy. So that's about the book, and can't wait to see you next time. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to subscribe if you've gone this far. If you love my videos, if you love what you've seen, subscribe please, like the video. Let me know if there are any things that you want me to review about, or any other book or anything. Just let me know. I love you so much. See you next time. Bye.